Hi everyone, Yana is here, and what do you say we all have some nice, cool, and yummy ice cream today? I have a fun card making tutorial for you featuring stamps and dies from Simon Says Stamp, the Color Fun release, and yes, we will be making ice creams today in different flavors, colors, you name it. And I hope everybody loves ice cream. If you do, keep on watching. Okay, I have to confess, I had a gigantic mess on my craft desk, and I still do because I'm working on a ton of stuff. But I really wanted to film this video and show you this ice cream. So what I just did, I did what I usually do. And please don't tell anyone, I just moved all of it to the side away from the camera. So if you see something that doesn't belong on my desk, you'll know where it came from. Okay, let's jump right in. I have two stamp sets here that I'll be using to cook up my ice cream today, and also some matching dies for both. I'll be doing a ton of stamping and a ton of die cutting to create these projects, but this is what I love to do. A ton of die cutting for me is a ton of fun. And add a little wine or some beer to that and I have a perfect evening. Again, I probably should not have shared that last part, but let's pretend nobody heard me. Okay, so basically I'm going to stamp a bunch of ice cream parts onto this white cardstock. This is Nina Solar White, and I'm going to use a bunch of colors from Simon, most of which are from this Color of Fun release. I already have a couple favorites, and I have to say these colors are so yummy and just perfect for summer. So first I'm stamping a couple of cones in Sunshine Yellow ink. I'll be making 3 ice creams today, so I need 3 cones. Next, I'm going to work on my ice cream scoops, and like I said, I'll be using a ton of different colors, trying to have a variety of, let's say, flavors for my products. So starting with Catkin, and this is actually my most favorite of all, gorgeous color. Next, I'm using Melon, then Rosy Cheeks, then Pale Blush Pink, then Wisteria. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'll have to ask Google Translate, and I'm really happy there is an option to listen to the word being pronounced by a native speaker. Being a foreigner myself, that has helped me a ton of times. Okay, and finally, the last color for this image with a heart is a really pretty light yellow, a duckling color. I went to the market the other day to get some groceries, and this one guy was carrying little yellow chickens in a box, and they were just adorable. Okay, so now I'm going to use this solid circle image with the little sprinkles and stamp it in some other colors. So I'm using Spring Rain, Scuba, Jelly Bean, and a ton of other colors as well. So basically, I am not blending anything. I'm simply using some of the lighter colors that I have in my stash to stamp the ice cream scoops. You don't have to use these particular colors. Your ice cream is going to look as yummy even if you use some other colors for this. After I was done stamping, I had to go back and add sprinkles to some of the images, and I used different colors of ink for a little contrast. It didn't work for every image, but I had a ton extra to play with and experiment, so it was okay. I then did a bunch of die cutting and cut most of these images out using matching dies. As I was cutting, it occurred to me that if you wanted to have ice cream scoops in different sizes, maybe you want to have a 4th kind of scoop for your card, you can use other circle stamps and dies, mix and match things a little. I use my Grand Caliber machine from Spellbinders to cut these images out, and I usually use my Artisan Explorer machine, which is a much smaller machine. But ever since I got this new cutting mat, I feel like I have a lot more room on my desk, and I can actually fit the Grand Caliber on there. I don't know why, it's just weird. Well, the good part is I can cut the entire letter sheet at once in this machine, and that kind of saves me some time. So the next step is to add some sugar to our ice cream to make it even more yummy. Here I have 1 scoop covered with glitter embossing powder, and I love this look. So I'm going to make the rest of my die cut pieces like this. Here I have 2 products that are almost identical that can be used for this technique, and I've actually shared a video using one of them last September. I think it was using some fruits. I also had them covered in this embossing powder, and it looked like sugar. Super fun. So one of the products, the one on the left, is from Clear Snap, and the one on the right is from Stimpendos. Both are very similar and do pretty much the same thing. So basically, this is clear embossing powder mixed with some fine glitter. When it's heat set, it gives you a no mess glittery surface. You'll notice that I did have a ton of mess in my desk, and that's probably because I can't create when there isn't any mess there. So I just seem to lose my productivity if everything is nice and clean. So you apply this like any other embossing powder. You will need embossing ink or slow drying ink. Whenever I need to heat emboss a large surface, I like to use this ink in a bottle from Stampendo's. This is the same kind of slow-drying embossing ink that you have in your embossing ink pad, but it's just in a bottle with a sponge applicator, and this makes it very easy to apply embossing ink to large surfaces. Say you want to heat emboss a part of a canvas, and this is more handy than using regular embossing ink pad. Now, don't get me wrong, you can still use the embossing ink pad. I myself simply find the bottle to be a little easier to handle when heat embossing images like this. So I'm adding ink to my stamped and die cut pieces and then adding this glittery embossing powder. I'm doing this one by one simply because it's ridiculously hot here right now, and any embossing ink or any slow drying ink that I add to my die cut dries like super fast. It's way too hot for any heat embossing today, but I just have to finish this card. It's just too pretty. Okay, now this glittery embossing powder is also perfect for snow. And it adds awesome shine and shimmer and some texture too. I love using it for my holiday cards. Now, if you don't have this kind of product, I'm thinking you could be able to make some yourself by mixing clear embossing powder with glitter. I haven't done it, this is just a theory, but I think this could be done no problem. And ta-da! My sugary ice cream pieces are all nice and ready. Now please note that I did not emboss the ice cream cone or the little fruit there. I left them as is. So I'm going to go ahead and arrange the ice creams on my work surface. I'm adding 3 scoops to each and then a little fruit on top. I'm also going to add some tree images to my ice creams, and no, those will not look like actual trees. They will look more like waffles or something, something that they add to the ice cream to make it look even more irresistible. Now, these were done using a different technique, which I shared just a few days ago, and I'll link to that video if you'd like to check it out. I did not want to include it here as it would have made this video just too long. So basically, these were heat embossed on non-watercolor paper in white embossing powder and watercolored using watercolor pencils from Faber-Castell. Very simple. Okay, now that I have all of my ice cream components ready, I'm going to stamp a few backgrounds using this awesome white background stamp from Simon and a few colors of ink. I like to use a brayer whenever I'm using large backgrounds like this, as it helps me to apply even pressure to my paper and have a nice even coverage and impression. For my sentiment, I've heat embossed There's No Place Like Cone in white embossing powder onto black cardstock for some bold, really nice and bold contrast. Next, I finally put my ice creams together using glue and foam tape, as I wanted to have some extra dimension there, and then added my sentiment on top. And this really already looks super fun and yummy, and you don't have to put it on a card. You can just stick it on a little tag and take someone out for ice cream. Now, I did put mine onto cards and kept them very basic, just my stamped background, my ice cream, and some enamel dots. I did trim one of the stamped panels to 4 inches wide and added some thin black strips of cardstock to the sides to help frame the ice cream and tie everything together. So this is it for today. I think I'm ready to have some real ice cream now, maybe some vanilla and some banana flavor, and add some strawberry flavor to that as well. Which ice cream do you like best? If you'd like to see more videos using products from Simon Says Stamp, be sure to check out the link you see on the screen. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I have new card making videos coming out every week. If you're looking for a list of supplies that I use to create these cards, you can find those in the video description and also on my blog. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!